Greetings and welcome to Sunlight Refuge, where the name of the game is motivation, inspiration, and growth. Hi everyone, my name is Tracey, and if you are new, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk about traumas, right? And not only trauma, but turning those traumas into triumphs, right? Because as we continue on throughout our journeys, we are healing. The people are healing. You know, 70% of people go through some type of trauma, if not multiple traumas throughout their lives. And just being honest with the type of world that we live in, it's going to be something. And it can catch you at many different stages of your life. But today I wanted to not only talk about traumas, but also dive into strategies that can be used to help each and every one of us, because we're all going through something, right? So strategies that can help each and every one of us to move from pain to happiness, to move from trauma to triumph, right? So we can excel in our lives, because it's challenging. Life is challenging, you know what I mean? And throughout my journey, and just throughout preparing for today's message, I chose topics that are most prevalent in this, in this category, right? Not to say that whatever I do not talk about today is not worthy of being talked about. Like, it's so many different things that I couldn't even imagine, things that you couldn't even imagine that people, go through. And I feel like the first, well, let me back up. So the first thing I want to talk about is just the traumas in general, right? And then I would like to switch that over and talk about the strategies that each and every one of us can use to turn that trauma into a triumph, right? So in my opinion, and from what I've read, a lot of the things that adults go through as far as what they're healing from, it stems from childhood, right? So childhood traumas, right? Childhood traumas are the most, they take hold of you more than any other stage in your life, right? Because you got to think about that. That's something where you're in your tender ages, right? That you go through something so traumatic, and sometimes people don't notice. Sometimes people hide it. Sometimes, it's different reasons why help doesn't come immediately, right? So then you carry those things. And often I found that shame comes with that, like the wanting to hide that, or the wanting to not tell somebody about what you're going through. And I want to dive deeper into why is that? Why is it that when you go through something that hurts you, the first thing is just to hide it, right? That hit me hard, because it's one thing to go through something as an adult, but it's another thing to go through something as a tender age and then have nobody to talk to about that. You know what I'm saying? Like that one really hit near and deep to my heart. And I noticed that when I am around people and they talk about experiences that they've had, it's the inner child within them that needs the healing, right? So all of the adverse childhood experiences, right? And they call those ACEs, right? So the statistic is 60% of people go through adverse childhood experiences, being if it's physical, being that it's emotional, being that it's sexual, being, abandonment, neglect, you know what I'm saying? Like dangerous situations, dangerous people, like that's a lot to go through at any age, but especially as young ages, right? So, side note to, the parents or guardians or whomever wants to raise children, from the lovingness of the heart, right? Is hold them close, protect them, because I always operate under the understanding that children are children and adults aren't always who they say they are. So just because somebody's smiling in your face and bought you a cup of coffee, or you know what I'm saying, that does not mean that you can leave your child with them. You know what I'm saying? Like that does not, because sometimes a nice person really is a nice person. So I can't evade that understanding because you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a nice person. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I know it's other genuine nice people, but then on the flip side of that, not everybody is genuinely nice. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be mindful of that, and instill that in your children, because as we know, they're going to go through, we're all going to go through something, but what it is will be determined by the environments, the people, you know what I'm saying, that you allow to play out in not only your life, but your family, your children's lives. So you got to be mindful of that, because when we talk about childhood traumas, we can also talk about children witnessing traumas, right? So when you have domestic abuse and you have children, you know what I'm saying? Like those things can stick with your children. So when you are picking your partner and when you are choosing your friends and things of that nature, you have to be mindful and really like vet these people, right? Because even if it doesn't happen to you physically, if you are a witness to that, like that still affects people. That will still affect you, right? So, domestic, in house, especially with children, are things that people go through. You know what I'm saying? And the percentages are the majority now. You know what I mean? And sometimes you go through domestic situations and it's not you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes your partner, you know, goes through something and that's what come of it. But you can't be you can't stay in that type of environment. If that's the type of environment that you're in, and I understand like it's different scenarios, it's you know what I'm saying, not everybody have somebody, um So I can't tell you what to do. I know you have to be able to tell you what to do. But I'm just here to let you know that if you are in a domestic relationship, um, you need to try to figure out a way to get out of it, because people die, right? Like, people die, and it's either the aggressive one or it's either the victim. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the aggressor can harm you, hurt you, kill you, and you being a victim can hurt somebody and kill them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can get from this to this like real quick. So don't stay in those type of environments. If you see signs of aggression or, you know, abusive type behaviors, especially before you move into, you know, marriage or moving in together or relying on them for financial support, or you know what I'm saying, before you put yourself in that, you gotta like take a step back, because if you started, chances are it's not gonna get better. Like, I'm not saying it's 100%. Everybody's scenario is different. Situations change, you know, things of that nature, right? You got to put it where it fits. But I'm talking about just in general. Um, those things tend to escalate. They don't tend to, you know, get better. And especially if you have children, you don't want your young boys thinking that it's okay to show aggression and be abusive to women. And then at the same time, you don't want to teach your young girls that it's okay for them to be treated that way. Like, it's on both ends. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to teach your sons to be better, and you got to teach your daughters to be better, right? We got to teach our daughters and our sons. Like, we're all in this. You know what I'm saying? So, being in situations that is abusive, you also have to take into consideration the children who is witnessing that abuse, whether they're being abused themselves or if they're just watching it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's going to have effects on people, right? And as we get older, it's going to show in some kind of way if we don't get the healing. And so that goes into, you know, sexual assault, sexual violence, you know what I'm saying? And that's why you just, like, women and young women, when you're traveling, like, be safe, you know what I'm saying? Like, travel during the daytime, don't go on back roads, you know what I'm saying? Um if you have you know, you checking into a hotel or something, like, you got to spend that extra money to get that valet service just so you can be there, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not always safe parking your car in a garage, you know what I'm saying? And it's people out there that are predators, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're studying this stuff, you know what I'm saying? So you just got to be mindful, you know, and always, you know, ride with make sure your phone chargers are charged, make sure they're working, you know what I'm saying? Like, pay attention to the environment and things that's going on around you, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, especially when you're traveling by yourself or you're traveling with young children, or you know what I'm saying, like, whatever the scenario is, you got to just be mindful, because there are people out there who just prey on, you know, and look for those opportunities to just, you know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful. when you're traveling. Like, don't be scared, but just be mindful, because it's people that's always like trying to get over on somebody. You know what I'm saying? And talk to your children about it. If you have children, young adults starting to learn how to drive, and you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. I'm a fond believer of, don't wait till it happens to teach them. Like, teach them beforehand, prepare beforehand, so they'll know, if scenarios start to play out. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't wait. You know. And another one that is it took me by surprise, but I was like, yeah, right. So when you think about like military, and you think about, okay, you think about military, you think about combat, you think about guns, violence, all of that scenario, and then we're all familiar with the PTSD, and then but it's just kind of like the the like the medical, like the medical traumas that comes from that, right? So you go and like just imagine that you are a sound person, right? Fully capable person, and you get into an accident. Now you're paralyzed, now you're missing limbs, now you know what I'm saying, you don't function, you can't function as you once did. Like, I didn't really, like, I knew, but when I started diving into it, I'm like, wow, that is traumatic, right? Like, I'm able to do all of this stuff, and then one day, just like that, you know what I'm saying, I'm paralyzed. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm on dialysis. You know what I'm saying? Now I can't use my legs. Now my spine is messed up. Now my eyes, now that I'm physically burned. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever the scenario is. And that is a huge adjustment, right? Like, that is going to shake your foundation, your reality, your way, your quality of living, like all of that. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, wow, yeah, because you know that it's gonna be something, but then when you think about it a little bit more, like, you have to be, if you are dealing with people that has gone into some type of war, or not even a war, just any type of like accident. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be going to the grocery store and just your whole life will change. That's why you got to say thank you when you get from point A to point B, because that's a struggle. You got to say thank you when you give birth to your children and they're whole. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many things that can go wrong. It's so many things that can go wrong. So for you to wake up and have air in your lungs, and you got your senses and your mind and your peace, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are things that you really need to be thankful for, because not everybody have that. Don't ever take any of that stuff for granted. Like, you gotta be thankful and have gratitude for the things that you have in your life, that that keeps you moving, and keeps your quality of life. You know, not to say that, but you know what I mean. Just, I'd rather have both legs than one, but I'm thankful to have one. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the psychology that goes with that. Like, that's heavy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I had to deal with that with, with my family member, and it's like, after it was said and done, and you look back and you reflect, you know what I'm saying, you get like a different type of understanding, like wow, you know what I'm saying, when you look back on their life, and you look back what they came from, and what they, the type of life and stuff that they had to live based on their, their illness, or you know what I'm saying, like that's a lot. That's a lot to deal with, and for anybody who, has had these life altering scenarios happen, or traumas, or you know what I'm saying, that happen, it's like, it's hard, it's tough, but you can get through it, you know what I mean? And I thought about too, like, me being, my roots is in, New Orleans and stuff. It's like the displacement, you know what I'm saying, like, and all the natural disasters, you know what I'm saying, like, that was a traumatic experience. Like, we're coming up on 20 years since Hurricane Katrina, and it's like, none of my family members, well, I take that back, a few of my family members actually went back to New Orleans after that. But you know what I'm saying, a lot of them got displaced, and they had to, move from their home, and then it was nothing for them to go, to go back to, you know what I'm saying? And that's hard. Like, when your whole world gets uprooted, it's not anything that you did, you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't lose their house because they couldn't pay their mortgage, or you know what I'm saying? Even though, that causes displacement too. But it's like, when you have to go through that scenario, like, I wasn't in it, but it's like my family members were in it, and then it's like, you can put yourself in people's places, you know what I'm saying, just to kind of get a feel of what that means, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, all these tornadoes and stuff, like, those tornadoes are tearing down, you know what I'm saying, like, towns, you know what I'm saying, like, just wiped off, as if the bulldozer just came and just was tearing down that community. You know what I mean? And it's like, tornadoes don't really give you no warning. But like, oh yeah, we out here having a good time. Then next thing you know, woo, like here come a big old tornado. Then everything is gone. Like, I couldn't. Ooh, like, I deal with hurricanes, but like tornadoes and earthquakes and tsunamis, and like, I'm just thinking, like, each one of them has their own, but it's like, ooh, you know, like, it's heavy, but then to just be uprooted from the life that you created, you know what I'm saying? Like, that causes, uh, that causes something that people have to heal from. That is a traumatic experience, right? And so, as we go through these different scenarios and different traumas and things of that nature, it's like, we also have to keep in mind that we are God's children, right? And I'm not saying that the road to victory, the road to your triumph, the road to happiness, the road to healing is easy by far. But it is possible, right? And that starts with building a foundation, having that support, having those people to support you, having that family structure, that community. Like, you can't do it by yourself. It wasn't designed for us to do and deal with things by ourselves. That's why so many of us, right? So having that support system is, in my opinion, I will put that first. Like, it's different strategies, and you can tailor these to your own lifestyle and your own scenarios and your own life and your own journey, right? But having that support system is key, right? It doesn't have to be a lot of people, right? Having something, someone that you can pull strength from, you know, where you can have a safe place. Like, these things are important. So whether you're looking for that or whether you are that for somebody else, just know that that is huge in someone's journey. So building that support system is very, very important in overcoming and healing. Not just overcoming, but healing, because it's hard work, right? That's why a lot of people find spiritual healing, spiritual practices, because sometimes it takes more than what we have physically to help us to get through. Spirituality is so important in my journey. Like, and I'm so appreciative because I know that my creator, the creator, my spirit guides, my ancestors, I know they love me. And that gives me a strength like no other. Right? Like, oftentimes people tell me, like, you do so much, you got so much on your plate, you got so much. And I do. But I get through. And it ain't just me, right? I get through and it ain't just me. And sometimes, like, spirit reaches me in music, spirit reaches me through words, spirit reaches me through what I'm watching, spirit reaches me through people. Sometimes I know when spirit sends me somebody because it tends to be exactly what I needed, right? And that's why when scenarios like that come about, it's like I'm so thankful, right? Cuz I didn't have to get that gift. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't feel entitled. I felt grateful and thankful. You know what I'm saying? To help me. You know what I'm saying? To continue on in my journey. And so spirituality, like, meditation, you know what I'm saying? It's like when you hear from the universe, and you know that the message that you getting is a real divine message, you know what I'm saying? And you able to use that to 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 get you moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, man, that's like no other. And so it helps you on your journey of, like, recovery and healing and growing. Like, it's so important. So having that family structure, having your spiritual, practices, um it leads you into educating yourself, right? So you want to know, like, one, who else is going through this. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you feel like you're going through this by yourself, but you never are. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what is this? How do I heal from this? What is the causes of this? Like, getting down to like the depth of it, right? So education and just learning about the healing process is key, right? We don't want to hide from it. We don't want to let it stick around. We don't want to move into vices, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to do all of that. You gotta hit it head on, and you gotta equip yourself. You gotta equip yourself with people. You gotta equip yourself with spirituality. You gotta equip yourself with knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't guess your way through it. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, you gotta learn about it so you can broaden your, you know, like broaden your horizon, like broaden your understanding. Like, you gotta, you know what I mean, like, you gotta, in order for you to dive deep into it, you gotta understand what it is. You can't fix nothing if you don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like somebody walking around the house with an attitude. It's like, what's wrong? Nothing. Bro, it's something wrong with you. Let me know what it is so we can fix it. Right? And when you educate yourself and you learn about what are these things, and why do these things happen, and what are the signs, you know, of these type of people, or what to avoid, like whatever your rabbit hole questions, you know what I'm saying, you go down the rabbit hole. It's like, after that, you gotta understand that, and then move into the healing process, right? That's practicing self-care. Like, self-care is so important, especially when it comes to like your health, right? You can't be stressed out and be healthy at the same time. Like, your body is, it's going through that. That's strenuous on your body. You can't hold all this stuff in. You can't just sweep it under the rug, under the rug, under the rug. You can only do that for so long. The next thing you know, you got a big, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't hide from it. And you gotta go within and start healing from within, right? What that look like? That means taking time for yourself. That mean, whatever that is, sitting listening to music, sitting listening to nature, earthing, you know what I'm saying? Reading books, you know, like whatever that looks like for you. Massages, you know what I'm saying? If you want to go out to the spa and have a relaxation day, or have, you know what I'm saying, you can have your own spa day at your house, you know what I'm saying? Get you some clean candles, get you some clean products, you know what I mean? And take your spiritual baths. Like, that's a healing. You gotta go within and be able to heal yourself, and even your body. Your body can heal itself in its right state of being. It's designed to heal itself. So that's why I'm saying, like, health is so important, because your health is you. When you healthy, your mind is good, your skin is good. Your skin is the biggest organism in your whole organ in your whole body. Look how much stuff is taken in through your skin, right? Self-care can be reading labels. You know what I'm saying? You got stuff like this and you can't pronounce nothing outside of water. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's probably stay away from it. Self-care, personal care, like that is so important. It was so important for me on my journey, y'all. Like, I ain't gonna lie, and I still do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, being able to sit with yourself, look at yourself in the mirror, analyze yourself, look at your skin. You know what I'm saying? Like, your body got telltale signs and stuff. How you feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, checking in with yourself. And I know we got a lot of stuff to do, but you gotta, like, hit that pause button. Because you're no good to yourself or anybody else if you just down and out. You exhausted. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta take time for yourself. And don't be afraid of your story. You are in control of how your story is written, right? Per se, right? Um, but you are more than what happened to you. You are more than what somebody's negative opinion is of you. You are more than being somebody's scapegoat. You are more than, you know what I'm saying, somebody who hasn't healed themselves. Like, that's just something that happened, but that doesn't define who you are. Don't let it define who you are. Right? You got to be the narrative of your own story. Create your own story. Journaling, like writing down your experiences and keeping track of how you overcame them. You know what I'm saying? And don't be afraid to use your story to help somebody else. We go through things for a higher purpose. You know what I'm saying? We go through things for a reason. And sometimes we don't get it when we going through it, but sometimes when you look back on it, you can see it. So don't ever be ashamed. Like, don't be ashamed. If you learning and growing and, you know what I'm saying, and healing and getting your life on track and not just, you know, falling victim to the vices, don't go for the vices. The opposite of vices are virtues. Look for the virtues, not the vices. The vices gonna keep you down. The virtues is gonna elevate you. Right? You are the creator of your own story. And last but definitely not least, you just gotta have patience with yourself. Right? Allow as much time as you need to heal through whatever you're going through. Don't compare yourself to nobody. Don't discredit yourself because it's not moving as fast as you thought it was or whatever. Time and patience. Time. It took time for that baby to be born. It took time for that cake to bake. You know what I'm saying? Like, it took time. Everything takes time. And you are no exception. It's going to take time. Don't shut people out. Don't go through it by yourself. But know that you can get through it. So I hope this video reaches whom it needs to reach when it needs to reach them, because I feel like that's what my channel is about, and that's what I pride myself on, is just putting out the information that can help somebody, whether it's 1, 100, 1,000, 1,000,000. If I only help one, then that's one person that can help somebody else, that can help somebody else, right? So take the time to identify what your traumas are. Don't run away from them. Don't be afraid of them, but identify them. Identify them, know what they are. And I guarantee you that you can start the journey to heal from it. And you're going to come out on the other side better, stronger, happier. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the things that will follow will be goodness. Not to say that you can't, life ain't gonna hit you, because that's just the world we live in. But ultimately, it's like you're able to fight another day. You know what I'm saying? Get your slice of heaven on earth, right? So thank you for tuning in to another message. I look forward to making more videos. Like, share, subscribe, comment if you like, and just start the journey. No matter where you are, start the journey, because humanity needs you at your best self. We all are needing each other, and you matter. We need you too. Okay? So till next time, shine bright, shine bright, and have a wonderful day. Bye.